Hello, I'm Suzanne from Making It in Maine. Welcome to my channel if you are just visiting for the first time, and welcome back if you are a return visitor. I am in the kitchen, as you can see, and I'm doing some batch cooking today. So welcome to a day in the life of a Maine girl. Yeah, a day in the life of anybody anywhere, but I happen to be a Maine girl. And I have already made a soup, a sausage, white bean, and kale soup, except I'm using kidney beans because I didn't have any white cannellini beans on my pantry shelf. We have some chicken that is cooked. I'm going to make a chicken salad with some chopped pecan and grapes. And right now I have been wanting to make this granola because it sounds very intriguing, and it's from one of my favorite cookbooks by Daphne Oz, Eat Your Heart Out. And this recipe is called Savory Granola with Thyme and Chili. So you can add some fruit to have it as a non-savory meal, or breakfast or snack or whatever, or you can add some what did it say? Yeah, chopped cucumber and olive oil, some fresh oregano if you want a sort of savory yogurt bowl. So anyway, I am going to start making that right now. First thing I need is 2 cups of oats, old-fashioned oats. Uno, dos. Let me turn you a smidge. Let me lower you a little bit. There we go. All right, 2 cups of that. 1 cup of sliced almonds. Okay, there's that. Cup of, got to have chopped, pardon me, crash, boom, bang. Yes, got to chop a cup of walnuts. Why aren't I using my cookbook stand? Because things are getting crowded here. Crowded. All right, walnuts, where are you? My good knife has already been used for cutting onions, so I'm gonna have to dredge up a lesser favorite knife. I'll use this one that rarely gets used. I don't know what specific purpose this knife has. Some knives have a specific purpose, and I'm not quite sure what that one is. I don't use it very often because of the size of the blade. I'm gonna put walnuts on the grocery list. Shopping list, I should say. I think of grocery lists for the conventional grocery store, and I don't think of health food stores as, I don't know. I think of them differently. Let's put it that way. All addition to this, roughly chopped, I've got to have some roughly chopped pecans or pecans. Also, did I say also twice? Quite possibly. Quite possibly I did. Yes, I was just out because this recipe calls for fresh thyme leaves. So I went out to the garden to see, because I couldn't remember if I planted thyme. So I went out and this is what was out there. Now I think that I'm just not sure if it's thyme or if it's oregano. I think it's thyme, but I just Googled and they look pretty similar, fairly similar, although I think the leaves of oregano are softer and maybe a smidge furry. Oh, I'm not sure. And I really can't tell by the smell. I'm embarrassed to say it, but it's the truth. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. But while I was out picking or looking for thyme, wait just a moment. Let me get this into the bowl. Why don't I, sorry. Why don't I get my trusty bench scraper, which makes it much easier to scoop things off your cutting board. So if you don't have a bench scraper, I suggest you get one because they come in very handy. All right, before I chop the pecans, I always say pecans. I don't know why I'm saying pecans today, but I picked some husk cherries. They are also known as ground cherries, and I just love them. And these were returns from last year that just popped up in the garden, and I was so happy they did because I had forgotten to get some. But can you hear the papery covering of them? Let me open it for you. Boop. It looks like a sweet little tiny yellow tomato, and the texture is like tomato, but yeah, they're just, I love them. I told a friend of mine about them. She had never had them, and I told her she should be on the lookout for them at the farmers markets, and she did get some. I don't think she liked them. You know who you are. I don't think they were her jam, but as you can see, I can tuck them in just as fast as I can peel them. So when they're ripe, they drop off the plant onto the ground, which I guess is how they get their name, the husk cherry. Ground cherry. All right, pecans next. Very peculiar that I'm saying pecans. But too, I think we do have more of these on the pantry shelf. Just dropped one on my toe. You really needed to know that, didn't you? I love pecans. But I like walnuts a lot too. My husband much prefers pecans to walnuts. I'm super curious to try this granola. I made some granola years ago with olive oil, I can't remember what else was in that one, but that was a tasty granola too. So yeah, this granola has absolutely nothing sweet in it. So it would just be the addition of fruit that you add to it. If you add blueberries or cherries or raspberries or whatever kind of berry. So it's just going to be super interesting. It is so beautiful out. This September has just been an incredibly beautiful, beautiful month. Super thrilled with this weather. Yes, so I was up in my sewing room working on the floor this weekend. I was going to make that a separate video, but I think I will just tack it onto this one maybe. We shall see, said Big Max. If you've been hanging around this channel with me, you will have heard me mention Big Max many times. My childhood book character. All right, let's get that into the bowl. I could just pick up my cutting board and dump it into the bowl instead of using my bench scraper, but sometimes when you do that, things fall off the cutting board and not into the place where you want them to fall. All right, now I need 1/3 of a cup of hemp seeds. I hope I added that to my shopping list. And I keep putting my shopping list in a different spot. Wait just a moment. I've got to find it because I really need these on the list. It's a good thing I looked because I did not have it on my list. I'm planning to go to the health food store tomorrow morning. All right, there's my 1/3 of a cup of hemp. Now I need 1/3 of a cup of flax. And 1/2 a cup of sunflower seeds. Okay, and now here's the what do I do part. Calls for a tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves. I just don't know about these. I think I'm gonna have to Google a little bit more to get this out. So. I'm more inclined to think this is thyme rather than oregano, simply because I use thyme more than I do oregano. So I'm thinking that I planted thyme, not oregano. So I'm hoping for the best by putting in my tablespoon of thyme leaves. And next I need a teaspoon of ground coriander. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I have to add 2. Let's see. Coriander now. Cumin, whole cumin seeds, a teaspoon of those. And lastly, a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I think I'm going to, yeah, I am going to put that in. I was going to say that I was going to leave it out, but I have changed my mind. I think I will not put quite as much think I'll just go for about a quarter of a teaspoon. Alrighty. It also calls for dried apricots or raisins, and I may add that, but I don't think I'm going to for this because I just want to, I can always add them when I'm eating it, you know, just before I eat it. So mix, and I have to add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. So let's do that. This was the end of my scraping the bottom of my coconut jar, and the looked a little funky. Looked a little funky colored, so hope it's okay. Hope I don't make us sick. So this gets spread onto salt. Let's see. Oh, half a teaspoon of salt. Did not do that. Could leave the salt out. Should I or shouldn't I? You know, when I make a recipe for the first time, I kind of like to follow it for the most part. All right, let's see. Divide between the 2 pans. Bake 25 to 30 minutes, stirring every 10. Smells good. Oh, I miss conventional homemade yogurt. I used to make a 24-hour fermented yogurt. Oh my goodness, it's just, I could eat it morning, noon, and night. It was so delicious. Plain, mind you, just plain, unsweetened with nothing on it. It was so delicious. Oh, I was just craving at something fierce, and oh, I just felt very out of control. Before, when I used to eat yogurt, you know, sort of on the regular, I didn't crave it morning, noon, and night, but after not having it for quite some time and then having it again, I couldn't get enough. All right. Pardon me. Time to spread out onto my sheet pans. I'll call that about half. I may have gotten a little more than half on this one, but I don't think we have to be that precise. All right, into the oven they go for 25 to 30 minutes. Here is the aforementioned soup that I made. It has chicken sausage, Italian chicken sausage in it, and kidney beans, and chopped tomatoes, and kale. I think I mentioned everything. Garlic, onion. Yeah, very simple, quick to make, and very tasty. The granola is out of the oven, and the chicken salad is made. I am now going to cut up some cantaloupe and put it in the refrigerator so it's all ready for snacking. And I have just put on some water to boil for my coffee because I am feeling a little bit draggy. So I hate to use caffeine for a pick-me-up, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I drink it just because I feel like having a cup in the afternoon. And sometimes I have a cup because I'm feeling draggy. And I have a lot that I still want to do today. So, cutting up cantaloupe, sipping on some coffee. Here's what's going on. Making that afternoon cup of coffee pick-me-up. Little pour over. It's kind of my favorite way to make coffee. So I just have one cup at a time, and using a pot doesn't make sense, and I'm not into those single serve K-cup things. I think they're a terrible thing for the environment with all that plastic added. Yeah, just not a good thing. People may find it convenient, but it's just not good for the environment. And I don't mean to sound holier than thou, because I'm sure there are, some things that I do that are not good for the environment, like drive a car, burn oil, to heat a house, burn wood. That isn't even that great for the environment. So I'm not trying to be holier than thou, just making conscious changes and hoping that I get you to think about making some conscious changes and reducing your use of plastic. We can't be perfect, but we can all make a difference. Okay, so while this is doing its thing, I've got this great big bowl of soup. Might have to take a little bit out and put it in a soup container to put in the fridge, because that's awfully full. My cantaloupe is cut. And now I'm getting ready to pour my granola, which is done. I hope this doesn't turn out to be a disaster on camera. Pour my granola into this jar. Probably an oversized jar, but it's going in nonetheless. A friend of mine who just moved to Spain gave me this jar. It was filled with oatmeal. In fact, she gave me 3 of them filled with oatmeal. So there's that. And you know what? I've got to try it. So I'm going to get some yogurt, and I think I'll chop up some frozen cherries and put this on, and let's see how it is. I recently made something, oatmeal with pumpkin. Yeah, it gets cooked in as you're cooking, stirred in and mixed in and cooks with the oatmeal. And it was okay, but a little heavy. I wouldn't make it again, and there was a lot to eat. So I hope this turns out better than that pumpkin oatmeal. Fingers crossed. I'll report back. Okay, my first bite will be on camera with you. Here it is. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. What do you think I'm thinking based on my expression? Oh, it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I think it ranks maybe in the same category as the pumpkin oatmeal. You know, they're decent, they're okay, but I base things on would I make it again. I would not make the pumpkin oatmeal again. I wouldn't make this again. But it was fun to try, and I'll eat it. I don't know if my husband will eat it, but I will eat it. Well, you know what? I don't know if I will return today because, yeah, I have other things that I need to do that aren't going to be filmed. Chickpea salad is the last part of my batch cooking for the day. I now have to make dinner, which I don't consider part of my batch cooking. So I will say I hope to see you soon. Please subscribe if you like what I jammer on about, if you like seeing what I'm doing in my life, what I'm making, what I'm doing. Yeah, so subscribe. You have to log in to do that, but you don't have to stay logged in. I always like to say that. Thumbs up and like if you like this video and what you see on my channel. And yeah, if you want to know when I'm posting a video, you can hit the notifications bell. You probably have to be logged in on the regular to get those alerts, but because I'm a little irregular with my posting, that could be helpful. So, dear ones, from my heart to yours, I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.